for times we living in. Sankofa. Sankofa. I am here for the 21st annual Charleston Middle Passage Remembrance Day, which honors our ancestors who were lost in the Middle Passage of enslavement. In my own research, in my own DNA testing, I'm, after all this time, still 52% Nigerian. Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, Fulani. In my research, I've also found a straight-up connection to Mississippian mound builders through the Queen of Cofetaske, known as the Lady of Cofetachiki, as mentioned in Hernando de Soto's journal, and Tuscaloosa, who Tuscaloosa, Alabama is named after. His name in Choctaw means Black Warrior. There's a Black Warrior mountain range and a Black Warrior river named after him. I'm here also to honor one of my ancestors who's descendant of Tuscaloosa via my direct ancestor, Peter McQueen. My mom is Lillian McQueen, descendant from one James McQueen, who is the father of Preta McQueen. His native name is Talmuchis Hadjo, a Talisi war chief and prophet who fought against colonizers and actively resisted the settlements. He's my hero. He allows me to know who I am and how I have such resistance, because he went up against Andrew Jackson at least 3 times and made it to the top of his most wanted list. So I'm here today at Fort Moultrie to also honor his grandnephew, Asi Yahola Hadjo, known in history books as Osceola. He was a Seminole leader, like his granduncle, Talmuchis Hadjo, and under the auspices of peace talks, he came to meet with the U.S. troops and was kidnapped. They did a De Soto move on him because De Soto kidnapped both of my ancestors that I mentioned, the Queen of Cofetaske, who managed to escape, and Tuscaloosa, who unfortunately was killed, along with his entire village of 2,500 to 3,000 people, and his 18-year-old son. So today we're here to rewrite some history, to tell our story, the story of our ancestors. I'm going to smudge his grave site here because they captured him in November of 1837, and in January of 1838, he died right here at Fort Moultrie. So he is buried here. His mutilated body is buried here, I should say, because they took his head to study his brain, just like they did Geronimo. So he was 1/8 European, but he was Black Creek Metis, and he denied any European in him. And if you see some of the real authentic drawings, you can tell that the pictures that you see of him have truly been whitewashed. So today, I am honoring my African descendant Amerindian ancestors from the Mississippian Chiefdom line, and one of whom is buried right here. And look, they got a nerve to have a Tekken right next to the grave site. So they know who we are. They know whose we are. And as with everything, not only did they steal our land, but they appropriated our language, our symbols, our names, and many of them were changed. Like Hadjo, you can't find Hadjos now. The name has been bastardized to Harjo, or Hacho, or Hadjo, H-A-J-O instead of H-A-D-J-O. So that has been one of the lasting detriments of colonization, in that it not only took our land, but it took our culture, it took our name. So here I am honoring Asi Yahola Hadjo, my direct ancestor. They have a plaque here. In my opinion, it really doesn't do much service. If you could take a shot of that. That's all they have about him. A Seminole leader, perhaps Fort Moultrie's most celebrated resident. A resident? He was a captive. Kidnapped under false pretenses, under peace talks. Osceola, famed Seminole leader, who led his people in their fight to remain in Florida rather than submit to removal to the Indian Territory. Osceola was given freedom of the fort while being held here. Being held here? He was a prisoner of war. And this is his grave marker. This is where his mutilated body without a head is. Right here is the site of where Osceola Hajo, the bastardized name Osceola, the Europeans gave him because they don't honor our culture. They couldn't pronounce our names. So Osceola Hajo is known as Osceola. That is my ancestor. And I, Sufia Giza Amenwasu, descendant, daughter of Lillian McQueen, granddaughter of Joseph McQueen, great-granddaughter of Joseph McQueen Sr., great-great-granddaughter of Joseph McQueen Elder, fifth great-granddaughter of Talmuchis Hajo, known as Peter McQueen, Atalissa war chief, and prophet who prophesied the negative impact that the European would have because he knew how he had already treated their ancestors. Our ancestors have been kidnapped by De Soto in 1540 on his expedition. In the spring, he kidnapped the Queen of Cofetaske. And I say Cofetaske because that links us to our Olmec past. We are Amerindians. My DNA traces to Mesoamerica, from Central America all the way up Mexico, into Alabama, Louisiana, all the way to the Southwest. My ancestors were here, coming through Siberia and the Bering Strait, 50,000 BC. We are the original people. There's been a paper genocide to wipe us out, But it's a new day. Paradigms are shifting. We're creating our own narrative by honoring our ancestors. Today, tomorrow, always honoring our ancestors. Osceola Hajo, may you live as long as we call your name. May you live. We honor you on this day of 21st Charleston Middle Passage Remembrance. You'll be hearing more about this and my ancestors because I am actually the guest speaker today doing the educational component. We'll also pay honor to the ancestors lost in the Middle Passage and those that made it here with a ceremony by the sea, with African drumming, prayers. And following that, we'll return here to Fort Moultrie by Toni Morrison's Bench by the Sea, where we'll do libation that's synchronized across the entire globe. Places like New York, Oakland, Panama, Ghana. So, I'm so humbled and so honored to be able to speak and be a channel for my ancestors. Ashe, Hetepu, so be it. Let the ancestors be pleased. Ashe. All these years we've been coming here honoring the ancestors, and my own ancestor was right there across the street. It's Sankofa times we living in. S-A-N-K-O-F-A, Sankofa, S-A-N-K-O-F-A, Sankofa. It's Sankofa times we living in. Sankofa. It's Sankofa times we living in. It's Sankofa times we living in. Sankofa means looking to the past and moving forward. Looking to the past, I said, then moving forward. Reclaiming what's been lost, stolen or strayed away, over time, over bondage and brutal beatings. Reclaiming the courageous spirits of our ancestors. Cause it's Sankofa times we living in. It's Sankofa times we living in. It's Sankofa times we living in. Oh, Sankofa birds soaring high. Sankofa, so high upon the heavenly sky. Sankofa, elevate our consciousness so we too can fly. Sankofa, it's Sankofa times we living in. Sankofa, it's Sankofa times we living in. It's Sankofa times we living in. Sankofa, S-A-N-K-O-F-A, Sankofa, S-A-N-K-O-F-A, Sankofa.